The Phillies, the Eagles are still searching for answers with their offensive football team. How to move the ball, how to successfully run this offense. The Phillies, they're on the brink. But don't worry. They're bringing their good luck charm to L.A. Just don't boo them while they're there. Trending in the AM. We are live, taking your thoughts and opinions in 30 seconds. And a very good morning, everybody, and welcome to Trending in the AM right here on the STT Sports Network. We're live, YouTube and Twitter, you know the drill, wherever you're watching. Hit that like button, hit that share button, of course, subscribe. It's also on YouTube. The only place you could vote on the poll question of the day is this week, Kevin Patullo's last chance to prove he can call plays, yes or no. Pretty simple question that we're going to get a lot into. And the word salads that are coming out of Kevin Patullo's mouth yesterday. We're going to dive deep into the Eagles, how they could search for answers. What are the answers to their problems that are pressing them so much right now? We're going to dive deep into that, obviously, today. Also, the Phillies Game 3 tonight in L.A. They're on the brink. On the brink. But don't worry. They got special permission to wear their powder blues, and that's their good luck charm. So that's all that matters. Anyway. So let's get right to the comments, guys. I'm Phil Stiefel. Make sure you like, you share, you subscribe, you vote on the poll question. I'm just going to dive right into it because I got like 20 comments already on the board. I don't know what's going to happen in the end, but Sirianni and Howie will quietly deal with the play calling issue if they don't improve. I think that this is the last chance that Kevin Patullo is going to have. You completely mischaracterized what Casty said. No, I didn't. Castellanos said that the booing from the fans hurts them and that it's wrong for us to boo. Get the hell out of there. I didn't mischaracterize. Nick Castellanos can't stand playing in Philadelphia, and he never has been able to. He's never been able to handle the hot water of when things don't go right. Phil Illuminati assemble. That's right. What's up, K1? How you doing this morning? He called out the fair weather nature of the in-game experience. No. The in-game experience, you pay hard-earned money, $300-$400 to go to a game in the playoffs, you expect 100%. If we don't see it, you're going to get told about it. And this is not one game. This is the last 6, 7, 8 games at home that they have not shown up in the postseason. Nick Castellanos is out of line for his comments. Snack's about to come out. Well, wait till tomorrow. Temperature danger zone. Then fly, Eagles fly. Yes, absolutely. Casty needs to go. Casty can go right now. Get the F out of here. Can't stand the guy and his attitude right now. We're on the road to nowhere. We are on the road to nowhere, Davey. Good morning. The booing of certain plays, fine. The booing of Duran's ill-timed music entry, it is okay. The Phillies got to read the room. Optics. You're losing again. The fans are unhappy again. Booing that, I didn't want to see it to begin with. We don't need no celebration in the 9th inning down 3 runs. It's the right of the fan to boo. And every city boos every team, every passionate city. Is the Thursday night game with the New York Giants a trap game or a layup? It's either a massive trap. There's no in between. I can't read your name. Tatsua. There's no in between. It's either going to be a blowout win or a blowout loss because of the trap. It's not going to be a 24-20 close, hard-fought game. I might not be a smart man, but I know what love is. Oh, that's good. You're okay with powder blue, but you're a Kelly Green hater. I do love the powder blue, but I was being sarcastic that the Phillies, on the brink of their season ending early again, are spending time trying to get special approval from MLB to wear the powder blues on the road because that's going to save the season. Now, even though I love the powder blues, now I hate the powder blues, okay? The cheek squeezing and silence is deafening. The cheek squeezing has happened from everybody. Just like when Sixers were up 22 and Simmons was missing foul shots. What's up? It's only Joe. Phils will win both games right now, right? Castellanos comes off as a moody prick. I highly doubt that the Phillies are going to. Maybe they win tonight. Maybe. But they ain't winning both in L.A. It's just not happening. Nick's time here is done, thankfully. Whether it's tonight or later this week, yes. He played his last game at Citizens Bank Park as a Philly yesterday or 2 days ago. Save some of the boos for the right time. Now, boo whenever you want, Nooms. It's the right of the fan to boo. What's up, Adam? Good morning to you. Can you dumb, poor fans stop being emotional? Just sit quiet. I know. Let's just sit and go, golf clap. Let's just pretend this is the Masters, okay? Phillies in 5. My ass, Adam. Free pizza for you, Adam, if the Phillies win this in 5. Powder blue is for losers. Making special requests to wear powder blues is for losers. This is where the beer man has a point. No. What the point is fans like to live in the moment, all right? I live in the moment. I cheer them when things are going well, and I cuss them out when it goes bad. Why? Because I live in the moment. That's what makes being a fan so special. Very few fans can be like you, Nooms, and just be like, yeah, well, you know, we'll figure it out. Like, let's break down the analytics of it. No. I live in the heat of the moment. And Nick Castellanos calling out the fans the way he did, it's unacceptable. And then Bryce Harper has to go out there and counter that instantly with his press conference. If your son is sucking, are you booing him? It's a totally different subject. Hey, I don't have a kid. All right? But what does this have to do with the with the booing in a situation of a general team? That it's not 1 or 2 bad games. This is 2 straight years, 3 straight, honestly, since the NLDS of 23 that this team has been failing. All right, we know what the numbers are in the playoffs since the NLDS last year, atrocious from our stars, and yet we still go out there and support this team every single game, dropping hard-earned money. And you get upset when we show our frustration? That's weak. Eagles win big Thursday, 45-14. I would love to see it, Adam. Pardon me for not having the confidence in our offense to put up 45 points. Hell yeah. I blame Phillies Karen. I blame Phillies Karen for a lot as well, for sure. It has been all downhill since then. I am going to celebrate like crazy once that loser Cassie's off the team. Absolutely. As a coach, parents will boo kids. Yes, absolutely. The team feeds off the noise. Yes, they do. So when they're struggling, so you were one of the people that supported giving Trey Turner a standing ovation when he was struggling. I was not. You want to take the money and come play in the big time in Philadelphia, you got to understand that you're going to get made a hero or made a villain, depending on your success rate. Like Castellanos said, and what? I don't even know what you're saying there. You have the whole rest of your life to boo. So I'm not allowed to boo in that moment. No. I'm allowed to boo all I want. If in the thrill of victory, agony of defeat. Exactly. Hey, son, you're being soft. Yes, exactly. Look, I would call it the way it is if I had a kid. Absolutely. My dad called it the way it was to me. Obviously, I'm missing the point then. What am I missing here? Basically, you're saying that the booing was unnecessary. But the booing was necessary because that's what the fans there felt was necessary. They're the ones that dropped $400 a ticket, some more than that, to go to the game. For probably the 4th, 5th, 6th time over the last 2 years. Dropping mortgage payments to go to playoff games. They expect their team to put out an effort. Okay? They expect the big ticket items to produce. And they have not for 2+ years now in the postseason. You spend your hard-earned money, you have the right to boo if they are not playing like they should. Yeah, you could play good in a losing effort, too, and not get booed. But the effort just isn't there, and it hasn't been. The booing of Duran was complete garbage. They weren't booing Joe Duran, Nooms. They were booing the Phillies organization for using his pyro. You got to understand who they were booing. They were not booing the player. They were booing whoever made the decision to set the flamethrower off in the outfield. You don't need all the pomp and circumstance when you're down 4-1 in a baseball game. It's not necessary. That's what they were booing. What's up, Bruce? How you doing today? Hope you are well. What do you think? You play like crap and you don't hear about it. If I crapped the bed like the Phillies did, there would be a meeting with my leadership. Yeah, you'd be fired, probably, right? Then that's your choice. No one forced you. Absolutely. But because they made that choice, they have the right. Okay? But see, the thing is, I think you are missing the point on the booing. Okay? You said they're booing Durant. No, they are not booing Durant. They're booing the Phillies organization for making the choice. Casty deserves boos. Swings at slide. Even his 2-run double that he had. It wasn't like he swung at a good pitch or made, like he got lucky. He reached out on a ball that was 2 feet outside the zone and almost on the ground and made it just made lucky contact. Let's be honest. So even his one good play wasn't that special of a play, honestly. Dude, there's 17 people watching the YouTube room right now. Please like, subscribe, share, vote on the poll question, guys. There's only 10 likes and only 12 votes on the poll so far, guys. Make sure you're hitting those buttons. Bryce can't hit the broadside of a barn. Yeah, you're supposed to clap for that, right? It was ill-timed booing. No, it was not. They should be able to read the room, optics, know what's going on. The fan base was on the edge of their seats, and we're already getting some boos. You had to know doing that was going to piss the fans off even more. So do we sign Schwarber or not? I don't know, Adam. I don't know. Something's got to change with the organization. It depends on what the coaching changes are first, what I'm going to do team-wise. Just like Casty has the right to call out your character flaws. He does. But you know what? He's the one making $20-some million. I'm the one spending money. He's making the money that I'm spending. Okay? If you can't handle the pressure of playing in the big-time cities, you want to go play in Cincinnati or Pittsburgh, go for it. He knew what he was getting into coming here, signing that contract. We're paying $20 million annually for maybe $10 million in production, which you don't want to hear about. What, that Casty has the right? Casty has the right. But I have the right to come on here and tell him that he's a soft-ass player for not being able to handle it. Nooms is just speaking on sportsmanship. This is about a team that was unprepared. Yes, I know what Nooms is trying to say, but while he thinks my feelings on it are misplaced, I think his feelings are misplaced on it. How players respond from booing is what matters. If your boss overly criticizes you, do you do the same or do you get better and prove him wrong? Absolutely correct. So if we lose tonight, Rob will be fired tonight. I hope so. He will not get fired, Adam. If he leaves, he will be told that he can exit on his own way. He can just retire or take a job in the front office or something like that. They won't fire him. Can't handle the heat, get the fudge out of it. I mean, we've heard a lot of cooking analogies yesterday with the Eagles, menus and chefs, stirring the pot and then mixing the ingredients. Jalen Hurts and Kevin Patullo with a lot of kitchen references yesterday, in their press conferences. So why not? Let's use a kitchen reference for the Phillies as well. Pro sports is not a real thing without fans. If we want to boo because we're frustrated and angry, absolutely correct. Those athletes aren't making $20, $50 million a year if it isn't for the fans. Even Mark Sanchez, no, this doesn't cut it here. Like how you cut it in there with Mark Sanchez. Meanwhile, he got them back in the game. He did. On a lucky hit, but he did get them back in the game. You can't boo because it's bad for business. It looks bad on television, and Durant lost. I don't really give a rat's ass because, again, it has nothing to do with Durant. It has to do with the Phillies, okay? Has to do with the Phillies. He wasn't even doing it in a distasteful way. We are going to massively disagree on it. Massively. I feel Patullo can make good calls versus the Giants, but maybe not against a good team. So I feel Nick should make a change now so Patullo won't be in charge versus a good team. Yeah, that's the question with Kevin Patullo. Do you wait? Do you be patient and then wait too long and then it becomes more difficult to make the change? Or do you just make the change now, Bruce? That's why I think this is honestly, potentially Kevin Patullo's last chance because then you get an extended week because we're playing on Thursday to integrate somebody else. This might be Kevin Patullo's last stand. Very well could be Kevin Patullo's last stand as offensive coordinator. Because if you're going to make the change, better sooner rather than later. How are you doing your job as a fan to help your team out? Unproductive. No, I'm letting them know how I feel. Okay? You'll never convince me that booing is wrong. We're not throwing things on the field. We're not shouting obscenities. We're booing. Okay? They have to hear that would you rather be sitting in a quiet-ass stadium? I wouldn't. I feel you're saying this, but I feel bad for saying this, but I feel now. Yeah, I mean, I don't feel bad saying it if that's the question. I'm willing to give them this one final game, and that's it. If we go out and put up 24 points, win 24-20, most likely Kevin Patullo's got to be done. Last straw for Kevin Yeah, I actually thought that there was something that was going to come out yesterday with the Kevin Patullo situation because always on Tuesdays you get Vic Fangio, Kevin Patullo, and Michael Clay speaking before practice, and then players after practice. Kevin Patullo didn't speak before practice. He spoke after practice. But during practice, I'm sitting there like, they're making a change here. Or they just prepping them for the questions a little bit harder. If you take your passion and job as a fan seriously, then you need to take your job seriously to be able to do the right things at the right time. Look, that was the right time to let the Phillies nation, let the Phillies organization know that we don't want no celebration when we're losing. That was wrong of the Phillies. Not wrong of the fans. Phil was right, pound what? Next book is See Phil Told You So. What? I'm not saying I told you. I'm just giving you my opinion. And me and Nooms have drastic different opinions on this. The only thing is, at least we're discussing it and we're not hating on each other. But we disagree. And we disagree strongly on this. I firmly believe in the right of the fan to boo any time they want. Okay? As long as you do it respectfully, in the sense of you're not shouting obscenities, you're not calling out family members, and you're not throwing things on the field, boo as loud as humanly possible. I would hate to be in a city or a fan of a sports team that the fans are not passionate. We cheer them on when the going is great. We boo them when it's not. Whether it's the Phillies, the Eagles, the Sixers, the Flyers, whatever it is. We're the most encouraging fan base. We literally gave a standing ovation to a struggling multi-bazillionaire to get him going last year. We will do anything to cheer our team on. But when we see lackluster effort, we're going to let them know. They should have. I actually said it. When did I say it? Maybe I said it on Twitter. I think it was during the Eagles game and then a little bit on Monday. I thought the fans sounded a little quiet. Like they lost some of their luster this weekend. So I'm going to be yelling bad words at my TV tonight. I might say shit. What's tonight? I don't even know what's on tonight. Went to boo Trey. Oh, the Phillies game. Yeah, duh. Want to boo Trey for that throw? Go ahead. Hell, you want to boo Schwartz and Harper to swing for the fences? Knock your socks off. So we're not allowed to boo the organization for setting off pyro down 4-1, about to fall down 2-0 in a series. So you're saying you're gatekeeping when we're allowed to boo and when we're not allowed to boo. Gotcha. And you can't gatekeep booing. They always boo when the Phillies have runners in scoring position with no outs and they can't knock in any runs. Absolutely. Also, the Phillies game being at 9 o'clock tonight absolutely sucks for my sleep schedule. Ain't going to lie about that. Hate 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock starts. Anyway. Booing, whatever. The Phillies still have to figure their shit out. You know, you got Vic Fangio. You got the players. Everyone's saying the right thing, that they still think that they can win the series. And they have to win 3 straight games. And you have to go into tonight with any form of confidence with Aaron Nola on the mound tonight. And I have no confidence in Aaron Nola in this big moment, even though he's done it before. And as ill-timed as the pump may have been with Durant, that's how the guy pumps himself up. You want to boo your team for helping fire him up? You're down 4-1 in the 9th inning of a playoff game, already down 1-0 in the series. Put all that into the equation. The Phillies are good, and they'll win tonight and tomorrow. We have no idea what's going on with Ranger Suarez. I wish we had a clue on what's going on with Ranger Suarez. They put him in the bullpen, said he might start, said they might use him in the pen. There have been multiple opportunities in the first 2 games to use him out of the pen. They have not. Leads me to believe maybe Ranger Suarez is hurt. Then if that's the case, why is he on the roster and you don't have an extra pinch runner in that Castellanos situation? Can we get to 25 concurrent sub up? Let's go. Hit those sub buttons. Hit those like and share buttons. Vote on the poll question, guys. Sitting at 746 subscribers coming into today. Athletes today are emotionally soft. They are soft. They really are. I'm a big good morning, Little G. Hope you are doing well. Even more reason for the guy to perform down 4-2. Was it 4-2 or 4-1? Whatever it was. It was 4-1. That's what I thought. Yeah. Okay, fine. Put some music on your headphones or something. No, I'm not supporting that us booing the Phillies here is the wrong situation. You can't boo because professional sports is fake. We need Major League Baseball to play the umpires off so it goes 5. They might do that, mister. Pay them off. They're going to come out and score runs because Nola will give up a few home runs. I mean, Nola looked good his last couple outings, honestly. I liked how the one dude with the eye protection pitched 7 innings and got yanked. I mean, Blake Snell. The other thing is booing is in the moment. I'm still rooting for them tonight. Exactly. I'm going to be cheering on the Phillies. And even when I boo in that moment, I'm hoping that they turn it around. Down 4-1, I'm hoping they turn it around. Doesn't mean I'm not booing. Booing is an emotional reaction to what you see and hear. In the moment. I would much rather live in the moment booing-wise than just golf clapping the whole time. The new pitcher got yanked the same inning, yes. I guess your blind spot stays for a longer time. What blind spot? Booing is an altogether healthy human emotion. Honestly, it is. Having emotions, not leaving, you leave it all pent up. You end up with a Serenity Now situation. That 100 miles pitch to ump chest, that looked like it hurt. That did look like it hurt. Yeah, booing shows you care, 100%. Well, the show you hope they turn it around. Well, then show you hope. I do hope they turn it around. I wanted nothing more. I'm the one that wants to be wrong all the time. Topper said Ranger is not hurt. He is just trusting the veteran Nola. Well, then why is he on the roster, Adam? You've had moments in each of the last 2 games where you could have used Ranger instead of David Robertson in game 1 coming out after sitting. Okay, came in, ended that inning, went in the dugout set, you brought Robertson out. You could have done that. Last game when Kirk Green, you don't bring Kirk Green in with runners on. You could have brought in Ranger there. You didn't. Kirk Green gave up the runs. So what's the point of Ranger on the roster right now? I don't care about the billing, but I wonder if in that moment, if Durant thinks we're billing him or the organization for the walkout entrance. Well, they were billing him, they were billing the organization. And if Durant doesn't understand that, well then I don't know what to tell him. Maybe someone got to get a translator over there, Steven Fuentes, because it was not Durant that was being booed. Jesus wept, then he booed. Gotcha. I think Rangers hurt. I would not be shocked if Rangers hurt. There'd be no other reason why he has not been used in the first 2 games and then not starting tonight. Or it's just massive mismanagement from Rob Thompson. I don't want to boo Rob Thompson. Maybe it's not the right time, but maybe Rob Thompson is just not doing a good job managing this team. It tells me some of the fans can't handle the moments. No, it means they live in the moment. Living in the moment is what's key, Nooms. Ranger is one of the lowest career postseason ERAs of any pitcher in MLB history. Topper giving the nod to Nola based on seniority is insane. I don't even know if it's on seniority or not. It's just ridiculous. Should Philly start Sanchez? Well, we have to get to game 4 before we think about game 4. I know the Dodgers said if it went to a game 5, that's where Ohtani would pitch with, he was Christopher Sanchez's, opposition in game 1. I don't know. I don't know who pitches game 4. You got to get there first. Is Ranger the backup of Nola struggles? Probably. But if that's the case, then why do you have Taijuan Walker on the roster? Actions have consequences whether you intend them or not. That's one thing Nick Sirianni gets, the emotional intelligence of the situation. And Nick Sirianni leads with emotion. He gets fired up. He might not be punching anybody on the sideline like one Jonathan Gannon. I don't know if you guys saw that. Jonathan Gannon fined $100,000 by the NFL for punching at a player. He didn't punch him. He kind of punched at him. I thought maybe there was something in his hand he was trying to knock out. Damn, you went straight for the translator route. What other route was I going to go? It was either go that route or call him out for being soft, if that's what he thought. So I went the translator route. No comprende español. So I don't know. That's the best I could do right there. I don't know what else to say in that situation. There are 2 big fines in the NFL. Jonathan Gannon got fined $100K for the swipe at a player, and Jerry Jones got fined $250K for dropping the bird at some fans in the stands and getting caught on camera doing it. Yes, Gannon was pissed off. And you know what? Honestly, fumbling the way that player did, basically dropping the ball before the end zone, dude, that would piss me off too. Yeah, you can't lay your hands on a player, I guess, but man, I'd be pissed off like Gannon too. So I don't hate Gannon. Gannon's got to pay for his consequences for his actions, but man, they put Walker on the playoff roster instead of another bench player that could have ran for Nick last game. 100%. You could have either taken Walker, Ranger, or Nola off this roster, added somebody, even if it's just Stubbs, for pinch running situations. Could have gone Rojas. Well, he's hurt. Could have gone Crawford. Could have gone Miller. You could have gone a lot of different ways. Phil, you see all the idiots dropping the ball before reaching the end zone. It's happened in Philly before. Dejean Jackson did it once before. It sucks. That's corny if a fan is heckling you. I think you have the right to flip them off. Was he being heckled? I don't even know the situation. I just saw the screen grab of it and then the announcement from the NFL on the fine. Gannon did nothing wrong. I mean, he was pissed off. Dejean Jackson did the same thing, lost the ball. Yep, Dejean Jackson did it. Topper-nosed Ranger is best used as a utility pitcher when it counts, but the velocity inconsistency may be a concern for some. Okay, I just still don't understand where if you're going to use him in the high leverage moments, game starting or out of the bullpen, then how's he not been used? Because there's been plenty of high leverage situations where he could have been used so far, late in both of those games. It just doesn't, the roster construction doesn't make sense. And I don't know if it was Dave or who had the final say on the roster, but Dave or Rob, but it's not been good. 99-yard pick 6 on Mahomes was great. Might as well bring in Corky Romano. Corky Romano is not on the roster right now, thank God. But honestly, if he was, they'd probably put him in over Ranger Suarez at this point. Even if he wasn't being heckled, it's just a finger, and it's just America. Yeah, look, I use my finger to speak to people all the time, elephant. I'm using it quietly under the table at you right now, at Nooms for disagreeing with me right now. Just kidding, Nooms, because I could take the arguments as long as we have a good, solid discussion about it. Guys, if you haven't, hit that like button, vote on the poll, subscribe, share. Let's go. Let's get these numbers up today. I want to talk something else about the Phillies. So I put this out there yesterday, and instantly, like this, I got told I was so wrong for it. Jalen Hurts is the reigning, defending Super Bowl champion MVP. 4 straight years of winning, playoffs 4 straight years. Y'all know the numbers, right? And Jalen Hurts has 1 bad game. The dude sucks. But he's not a franchise guy. See, I told you so. Blah, 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 blah. Bryce Harper is like 2 for his last 30 in the postseason. Okay? Bryce Harper hasn't won a World Series. Bryce Harper hasn't been to one since 22. Bryce Harper hasn't been an MVP for 4 years. But Bryce Harper gets a pass. Why does Bryce Harper, why can you never say one negative thing about Bryce Harper? But Jalen Hurts farts, and the guy's the worst quarterback ever. Okay? The double standard from the Philadelphia fan base on the Harper criticisms or lack thereof, but the Hurts criticisms that aren't necessarily deserved is insane to me. Literally insane to me. Hurts loses when asked to throw over 30 times. That's actually not true. Well, maybe it changed, but I remember late last year someone put up a graphic somewhere, and his win percentage is over 50% when he has to throw 30 times or more. Just so you know. Maybe if I have a slow day at work, I'll do the research later. I wrote it in my book. I'll do the research later if I have time. Bryce Harper isn't a quarterback, but Bryce Harper is the leader of the team. Bryce Harper is the Jalen Hurts of the Phillies. Okay? He's the face, the poster child. Is Harper on the decline or washed up? He's on the decline, for sure. He is not washed up yet. This team is constructed to run. When you don't have an offensive line run blocking anymore, it's kind of a problem. Bryce tag Harper? What? I don't get that. Gotta imagine if this team had gotten Crawford some at bats this year to see how he would. Who knows how it'd be going right now? Sources told me that Castellanos was so distraught from the billing that he'd have Harper drive him home to his 8-bedroom mansion. Yeah. A first baseman can only take a team so far where a quarterback can. Yeah, but it's not about what they do on the field necessarily. It's about the criticism they face as the leader of the team. Okay? Jalen Hurts is the leader, and he gets the flack for all the fail. Nobody on the Phillies gets the flack for the failures. Bryce Harper is the face of the organization. The organization was built in the likeness of Bryce Harper because that's what Bryce Harper wanted. Bryce Harper wears cool headbands and flashy shoes, and he gets a pass. Take a look at what? I don't know. I think Zach Wheeler is the face. Zach Wheeler doesn't even hang around with the team when he's hurt. Just so you know. So you think Harper will be like Embiid and never win a championship? It's possible. It's not happening this year, but it is possible. People mischaracterize facts, and they also don't like to hear the truth. Hurts, like anyone else, has limitations. No one wants to hear about it. I mean, Jalen Hurts, everybody in life has limitations. You have limitations. Babe Ruth had limitations, right? Everybody's got limitations in life. My limitations, I can't fly. I can't see through walls, okay? It's still weird to me that Bryce Harper gets a pass no matter what. Zach Wheeler is all business about the game. Absolutely. Doesn't spend free time with the team. He spends his free time with his family. He's business at the park, family when he's not at the park. Phil, I posted those stats before. Nooms says, yeah, you posted it probably. I don't remember whether it was you or not, but I know I've seen it on Twitter as well from like reporters, like beat reporters and stuff. He absolutely has a winning record when he throws more than 30 times. Take a look. It's in the book, Phil, A Book of Knowledge. There's no book of knowledge. Phil just likened himself to Babe Ruth. I did not. I drink like Babe Ruth. So stop bitching about hearing about them. About what are you talking? I think I'm Bryce Harper gets killed on social media. He does from me. But let me tell you something. I made a post about what I'm saying yesterday, and 5 of the first 6 responses were, no way that Bryce Harper deserves any criticism. Look at his numbers over the last 10 years or whatever it was. No, I'm looking at the last 2 years, and he hasn't performed. Bryce Harper gets a pass. I don't know. Phil the Bambina. What? I don't understand what the argument here. Harper does get a pass. Well, maybe you yourself say you're not on Twitter, okay? Maybe you're missing what I'm seeing on Twitter. Because in the threads where I criticize him, I get told I have no idea what I'm talking about with baseball because Bryce Harper is the end-all be-all. Hurts should have won throwing over 30 times. The Eagles would kept the lead. Harper was expected to bring us a championship and still hasn't, and no one wants to admit it may not happen. Hurts wasn't expected, and that's why people can't let it go. I think that's a great, great way to phrase it, to sum it up. Fans aren't willing to accept that he may not bring us the championship. I think Bryce does well with the media and fans, but he doesn't play like a leader anymore, so I don't see him that way. That's a fair way to say it, too. Twitter is a wasteland of BS, absolutely. But it's also the number one space to get information from beat reporters and media people, some respectable still, and it's the best place to discuss sports. And if you build a good enough following, just like I got the core 12 here, I got a pretty good core following on Twitter as well. And we discuss things on there, just like we do here. 80s R&B, 90s rock. Your choice says a lot about you. Love late 80s, early 90s R&B. Love 90s rock. Bryce is the Ridley Scott of baseball, not only in the movies. Our offense needs to stay with something that works and not go away from it. Getting the information back onto the Eagles. Yes, Versetti. The offense needs to figure something out. You know, you listen to Kevin Patullo talk, and he just doesn't sound like he has an answer. When I listen to Kevin Patullo talk, and he, like Nick Sirianni, is full of word salads, right? Says a lot of words that really don't mean much. But the words he doesn't say actually contradict themselves. Like he was talking about the one run for 17 yards on a pitch play. Why didn't they go back to it? Well, that was for a certain formation. Well, why didn't you go back to that formation when it clearly worked, right? We can run to the outsides right now. We're struggling to run the insides. But you keep setting up formations to run to the inside instead of the run to the outside. Says he's got a menu for each game and what he thinks is going to work. Then you have Jalen Hurts talking about how they have all the same ingredients. They just have a different chef, mixing the ingredients together so it's going to taste different. You've got to know who to weed the information from. There's a lot of bad accounts out there, especially the last couple of years, pumping lots of fake information out there. These last two seasons were like The Last Duel and Napoleon. Good shit. Recent interviews with Bryce Harper, he said, I boo myself. Good, he should. Forrest Gump in the book, he had a pet monkey and went on his adventures. Who knew? How are unspoken words contradictory? What? I get the feeling that there is a power struggle in the offensive room. It's starting to look like the players against the OC, Sirianni, is going to back his buddy, and that might not end well. That's going to be a big test. And honestly, Duck, you've got the three big offensive stars, Saquon, Jalen, and AJ having a meeting together. They all answered questions about the meeting in a different way. Jalen Hurts taking the responsibility. We're just trying to get on the same page. Saquon says differently. Kevin Patullo looks like a lost child. I'm curious if Sirianni will take his buddy's side, or will he take the side of his stars who have gotten him to the point of success that he's at right now. Nick Sirianni would be an idiot to not take the side of AJ, Devontae, and Jalen. Last year, when the offensive line marched in, he didn't take Kellen Moore's side. He took the offensive line side. So maybe after this week, if it's not a perfect offense, that maybe Nick Sirianni will take the side of the offense and say, yo, Kevin, you can't call plays no more. Sorry. Now, I still don't have an answer on who I want. And can I go off on another side tangent here? Everywhere on Twitter, the cesspool, as Noom calls it, of Twitter, every fan on Twitter wants the Dolphins to fire Mike McDaniel so bad so he could take over the Eagles' offense. And let me tell you something. Mike McDaniels, I'll take Kevin Patullo for the next 20 years as my offensive play caller over Mike McDaniels. Mike McDaniels has so much loser energy. He's a disaster of a head coach. He ran Vic Fangio out of Miami, thank God. Like, Mike McDaniels is just such a loser attitude type person that he would get run out of Philly so quickly. He would not handle the booze that we've been talking about at all. And honestly, maybe one day, 5 years ago, he was a great play designer. But you know what? His time as a head coach, I want him nowhere near any organization. The only organization I'd like to see him go to is the Cowboys or the Giants. And that's it. Let him ruin those organizations and the Commanders. What's really disturbing, not Kevin Patullo, Jalen Carter's not getting doubled. Look, I saw your comment on the other thing. Jalen Carter's hurt. While Landon Dickerson is going to be sitting out the next 1 or 2 games, should be 3, but 1 to 2 games, Jalen Carter probably should sit out a game as well. That shoulder, when he falls on the turf at MetLife tomorrow night for the first time, he is going to hurt, and he's going to come out of the game probably. When you're in trouble in the trenches, you are screwed. I don't get it. Yeah, absolutely agree. And the Eagles' offense and defensive line is hurting and not performing. I just went through all Hurts game logs. The Eagles are you left the chat to do this. 22-12 when Jalen Hurts has 30-plus attempts. There you go. I thought it was closer. I thought it would have been more like 18-14, something like that, but 22-12. There you go. Forrest Gump was an older white male version of Dora the Explorer. That's funny. That's actually very funny. I feel like if we utilize Dillon and Shipley more, maybe the runs will work. Toth wasn't bad. Brett Toth was not bad. And that's why they can survive a week or two without Landon Dickerson. You got Giants, Vikings, Giants in the bye. If it was me, Versetti, I'd be sitting Landon Dickerson for 3 weeks because that gives him 4 weeks off with the bye to get himself healthy, to get himself ready for the stretch run against Green Bay, Detroit, Washington, Buffalo, etc. What in the world are you saying there, James? But Moore wasn't his longtime buddy. He was a Howie hire. And that's fair, and I get that. And that might be what holds him back. I don't know. We're going to have to find out very soon about that. Hurts is simply not making good post-snap reads. DCs are in his head, but it's easy to blame Patullo for everything. I mean, look, Jalen Hurts is not out of the realm of criticism here. He deserves criticism. He has not been as good as last year. Juergens below standard, Dickerson below standard, Carter Sunday below standard. Carter's been below standard even before Sunday. He was below standard in the what? I'm trying to remember who we played first. The Rams. The Rams game was below standard as well. Then he played an okay Bucks game, and he was below standard this week. Mike Castellanos. Mike McDaniels plays D and D, does he? McDaniels is the Jonathan Gannon of OCs. I would take Jonathan Gannon back as my DC 100 times before I'd want Mike McDaniels anywhere in Philly. Steen has played way above standard and is really playing the best ball of his career. He's actually done very well, Tyler Steen. Overall, absolutely have nothing bad to say about him. Must be a Florida thing, yeah. Dunedin and St. Pete, yeah. Barkley getting the ball 6 times ain't going to work. But according to Kevin Patullo, well, you know, we ran a bunch of RPOs, and they just all turned out to be pass plays. So Kevin Patullo blamed, well, there would have been 8 or 9 if Jalen would have handed it off in a couple of times. I don't know how that, how that works like that. I would dress and not play Barkley much these next few games going into the bye. I have no problem with that. Toth can be similar as Fred was when absolutely. And he's going to have that opportunity. And if he plays well enough this week, that might mean they could give another week next week, against the Vikings off, the Landon. How he performs this week will determine how many weeks Landon gets off. The defense dictated some of that, but nowhere near all of that. Yeah. Hurts developed trust with Moore. He has not developed that trust in Patullo. Well, how do you develop that trust in Patullo? How does a quarterback and an offensive coordinator develop trust? I don't know the answer to that. I don't. There's nothing wrong with it. You have Dillon and Shipley, and we need Barkley for the long haul. 100%. 100% we need him for the long haul. And his knee is banged up. Yeah. If you want to boo Casty for that awful jump he got on the bunt, knock your socks off. I did. I have. I actually feel bad for Castellanos in that situation, Nooms, because he shouldn't have been in that situation to begin with. Because if you constructed your roster correctly, you would have had somebody left to put in there to pinch run in that situation. You probably could have pinch pinch hit or pinch run with Weston Wilson in that situation. Not that Weston Wilson's that much better. And then, yeah, you can't pinch run for Bader, but you know what? I don't know. What's wrong with being a nerd, geek, or dork? Yeah, I know. I'm. That's what I am. I'm a complete and total nerd, dork, whatever. That is what I am. I live like that. We can't run block with 3/5 of our offensive line banged up, so we aren't running as much. This isn't rocket surgery. Not rocket science, rocket surgery. Gotcha. Look, but there were plays, like the outside pitch, that has worked effectively when used. And then Kevin Patullo's excuse on why they haven't done it is because they haven't run that formation yet. Again, well, run what works. He runs a play, it works, and he puts it on the back burner and never uses it again. Jalen Hurts this year, 101.3 QBR, 67.5 touchdowns, no interceptions, on pace for 3,000 passing yards. The idea that he's having a bad year is wild. Look, Anthony, you know me. I'm the biggest Jalen Hurts guy. Bigger than anybody in the chat. But even I can see that there's a disconnect and he's just not playing his best football yet. His completion percentage is fine. Yeah, he's on pace for 3,000 yards. That's nothing. 5 touchdowns in 5 games. That's nothing, really. The no interceptions is great. But the offense isn't clicking. We can tell that. The offensive line's not blocking. The run game's not there. A.J. Brown's not running out routes all the time. The play designs aren't there. I'm not blaming Jalen Hurts or anything like that. I'm not calling for his head or anything. But Jalen Hurts can 100% play better than he has this year. I am whatever I want to be. Asking Patullo why he didn't keep running the toss play means you don't know enough about football to understand, even if he explained it to you. Hold on. I don't understand this. Asking Patullo why he didn't keep running the toss play means you don't understand. So what do I not understand about football that a toss play works and you don't run it again the rest of the game? I don't understand that. They needed Wilson to pinch it. They did need him for that. And Topper said he was saving him for that. I get that. But does it matter? Like, do you not make one move because another move might be needed? Would it have been better not to pinch hit with Bader there, but have Wilson on base? I guess hindsight's 20/20 on that. Tomorrow's definitely a must-win. A loss in the division is unacceptable. 100%. 100%. Patullo's blaming everyone but, the play caller himself. Exactly. He takes no responsibility. I still don't understand the comment. I don't understand the comment. Now that Hulu going away with that one less for Phil. What? Good morning, Reality Check. How you doing today? Hope you are well. The offense isn't clicking because they are not leading the league in rushing this year. That's the change. They're not doing it because the offense is banged up and hurt. Patullo actually did good. Offense was so bad and stale. We need to get the snap off with 20 seconds on the play clock. That's a lot of talk about the communication, the timing of getting plays in, and stuff like that. That is becoming a problem. Greg Cassell broke down a half dozen plays on Inside the Birds the other day, showing wide open guys that Hurts wasn't seeing. It's not a play design problem. There's a lot of people. I saw Brian Dable talking that A.J. Brown's open a lot as well. Again, that's why I'm saying Jalen Hurts is not, whether it's lack of trust in the play designs and he doesn't think these guys are going to be open, whether it's he doesn't have trust in the offensive line to protect for him, which the blocking was great in pass protection for a majority of the game this past week. I don't know what it is, but there's definitely a regression from the offense. I don't know anything about that. The outside run contain and lack of run fit for the Eagles is a big problem. The outside run contain and lack of run fit. Also, K1, no one wants to hear it. He is not a 3-level concept. He has been. And Jalen Hurts is more than capable of finding these guys. Why he is not, I don't know. And even I can admit that he has not been good this year or to his standard. And he'll admit that he's not to his standard. They're pulling Hulu into the Disney Plus platform. They are going to run it off the single platform that allows Hulu to have a separate platform. I don't have Hulu, so I don't know. Defenses are able to adjust to what our offense is going to do because of milking the play clock. Yeah, we definitely run it down. So Disney is absorbing the content, getting rid of the Hulu name. So is Hulu Live not going to exist anymore? Is another option for local live sports not going to be available for people? Or will you get that Hulu Live as part of Disney Plus too now? That if I ever leave YouTube TV, that's what I'll go with. I don't know. Guys, you're watching Trade in the AM. If you have not yet, please like, subscribe, share, vote on the poll question. Is this week Kevin Patullo's last chance to prove he can call plays? Yes. 56%. No. 44%. I'm not saying this is true, but have you noticed that when quarterbacks get married, they seem to regress in play? You're seeing it in Allen. That's actually kind of funny. Jalen Hurts got married this year too. Disney owned most of Fubu too. Yeah, I don't know. First, ask yourself why the toss play worked at all. Once you find that out, it explains. I'm asking you. I don't know the answer to these questions. I'm not an X's and O guy. I never played a down of football that was organized. The play worked. He was asked why he didn't run it again. His answer was, well, we didn't. It was for a certain formation. We didn't run that formation again. So explain it then. So 6 weeks in, we have no identity yet. It's true. It's damn true. We have no identity, Adam. Defenses are blitzing in first half, then rushing for in second half. Jalen isn't adjusting. Jalen Hurts. And I can't find. I thought I had notes on this. There would somebody, Zach Berman or somebody, put notes up on Jalen Hurts when it's only 4 guys or less blitzing is worse. I thought I wrote that down. Damn. That was a really good stat, too. That if you blitz 5 or 6, Jalen Hurts can pick the blitz apart. When you get pressure with 3 or 4, Jalen Hurts struggles because you're dropping 7 guys back into coverage. It's basically the difference between the zone coverage and man coverage. So, yes, and he struggles in that. You saw it. Wentz, Hurts, top 3 pre-snap quarterback. Hurts, not top 5 post-snap quarterback. Maybe not even top 10 yet. Still 26 young. That's the other thing. I mean, he is still just 26. Wait a minute. Are we really sitting here complaining about Jalen Hurts missing wide open people? The dude's been doing it for the 6 years. Why is it a problem now? Because we lost. Jalen Hurts is actually a very accurate quarterback. But, yeah, he doesn't always read the field well. We need to balance things with runs and passes. Yeah, obviously last week was way too imbalanced. I want it to be easier to get sports outside of Buffalo. I mean, that would be nice, right? Stating facts and trying to sharpen the blade are not complaints. No. As long as you have something to back it up. And look, even if they are complaints, who cares? Every quarterback misses or doesn't see wide open players, even the best. Absolutely. And Jalen Hurts is the best, and he misses them, right? It happens. Look, I don't think anybody's complaining about Jalen Hurts, so to speak. Jalen Hurts is not the main culprit of the problems here. He's a part of the problems, but he's not the main culprit of the problems. But you can't blame Jalen Hurts for Kevin Patullo's bad play calling. Because if you think that the play calling's great, Jalen Hurts is just not executing, and that's the number one issue, I don't know if I can agree with that at all. Phil, let go of your feelings, let the content flow. That's what we're trying to do. Yeah, look, I get what K1 said, and K1 had a great point there. There is definitely defenses are figuring out how to stop this offense. Now it's up to Jalen and the offense to figure out how to pivot off of it. Defenses are starting one way, the Eagles are picking it off, and then they're going another way, and Jalen can't adjust. But it's also on the coaches. Jalen's a great deep ball thrower, but with bad pass protection, we can't run deep routes. Yeah, absolutely. We have to sustain drives and have long possessions that end with points. Well, what are the numbers? 47.2% of our drives end in 3 and outs this year, Versetti. That is the most in the NFL, with only number 2 Tennessee, number 3 Cincy. The last time a team had over 47% 3 and outs on offense was 2005, 20 years ago. And that 49ers team was 4-12 that year. When Dabo finally be fired? Maybe soon. The toss play worked because the Eagles ran the dive play up the middle in the formation earlier. The Broncos saw the formation again and guessed wrong. Okay? So you're not going to try it. It worked once, and you're not going to try it ever again? That's my point. It worked. So you run that again. You try it again at least once. Or that should have opened up a run up the middle, but it did not. I don't know if anybody said it was the number one issue. Jalen hasn't been good this season. The Eagles haven't been good, but they still have found ways to win. He was at one point, wasn't he? I don't know. As a Bills fan, I guess I press X to doubt. What? It's not 42%. I said 47.2%. 47, almost 50% of our drives go 3 and out. Again, the last team that was that bad had a 4-12 season. I don't even remember what 2005 was 49ers wise, but that's the team. DJ, those formation variations were not frequent enough earlier in the year, but they have gotten better. Our defense can't get home if our offense. Look, the Eagles' defense has been on the field. I forget the exact number, 72 and 75 plays each of the last 2 games. The defense is hurt already with Jalen Carter. Your defense is getting smoked in play, like not smoked like in getting beat up. I'm saying like they're getting they're getting physically drained 4 or 5 weeks into the season. Can't have over 150 plays in 2 weeks on defense and expect to be fresh. And that's on the offense and those 3 and outs. When the 3 teams that are at the top 3 teams in 3 and outs are the Cincinnati Bengals, who had to just go trade for Joe Flacco because their quarterback situation is so bad. Tennessee, starting a rookie quarterback in Cam Ward, and the Eagles, the defending Super Bowl champions. That's not good. And that is ripe for criticism. Ripe for us to question what they're doing. Ripe for us to question the quarterback, the offense coordinator, the wide receiver, all of the above. There's a lot that can be criticized in all these situations. I was happy to hear Greg Cassell call it Ringo's hips, albeit in a much more eloquent way than I did. I love how Vic Fangio knew yesterday when he spoke, when he was asked about Keely Ringo, cornerback 2. He said, he didn't say yes or no. He said, possibly. Possibly. Love it. Love how he just doesn't, he won't give anybody credit for anything, but also won't give them any hate at the same time. The offense needs to flip the script now and start getting serious. We need to win the time possession and turnover battle. Well, we are winning the turnover battle week in, week out. Last week it was just a 0-0, but we are winning the turnover battle. We are plus territory in the turnover battle. Time possession, not so much. Stiff core, it's almost impossible to change. But see, here's the thing. You've got 2 all-pros in Cooper Dejean and Quinion Mitchell. You're not going to have 3 elite cornerbacks, right? So is Keely Ringo and his stiff core, and his hips, is that good enough as your third guy? Maybe. We want Isaiah Rodgers back. That was a miss. We want them to go trade for Ward or whoever else is available. I get that. But you can't have elite at every single position out of all 22 starting spots. So is Keely Ringo good enough? With the rest of the players around him, with the right scheme, can he be manageable in that spot? He's cheap. Benching him for Adoree Jackson isn't going to change anything. In the fourth quarter, it's not good. Okay, so again, though, I guess you could go make a trade for a cornerback, right? But then you're not fixing some of the other issues on this team. Is a combination of Keely Ringo or Adoree Jackson and maybe someday Mac McWilliams, good enough. When you look at maybe you need a tight end, maybe you need offensive line depth, you definitely need another edge rusher. Just saying. Is it as big of a question mark or need based off of what this team is right now? Castellanos is very diplomatic. He is. He's great. I think Ringo might be cheeks. He might be. He very well might be. But he's no better or worse than the other option, which is Adoree Jackson. At least we know what Adoree Jackson is. Keely Ringo is still learning. Keely Ringo is 23. He is what he is. That's what I got on Keely Ringo. Offense needs to get huge leads out of the water. We need a complete game that we've been waiting so long for. We can't have it come down to the wire on a weekly basis. Absolutely agree. Absolutely agree. I need to see a full 60 minutes from the offense. And a full 60 minutes from the offense would make the defense better, would make Keely Ringo better, would make Jalen Carter better. When you're playing 72 to 75 to 78 snaps a game on defense, that's on your offense. The only scheme I could ever imagine Ringo ever regularly starting in with Dick Sherman, Earl Thomas, Cam Chancellor, and even then, probably not. All right? I mean, you've been consistent with this theory on Keely Ringo since the offseason, so I get it. I just look at it as I see a lot of glaring holes that I want to fix on this Eagles team over the next couple of weeks, and I put cornerback 2 or 3, whatever you want to call it, at 4 or 5 on my list of what I want to change or fix at this point. Okay? By year 3, you aren't learning. You can either start or you can't. Well, I mean, it's kind of different in his position, in my opinion, because he really never got much chance in his first couple years. Behind Slay and Bradbury 2 years ago, behind Slay, Q, and Coop last year, really didn't get the opportunity to try to figure it out on the field. Yes, because the defense is not tired and the recovery for the next game is lessened. Exactly. Did they? Very hard. You know, the one thing I'm losing with these live watch parties is I'm not picking up on details of games as well. Like, I'm picking up specific play. Oh, look at that play. Yeah. But live stream and talking with you guys, I'm missing a lot of the X's and O's. Ojulari looked solid in his debut. Absolutely. And I don't think, have we even talked about him yet this week, Rossetti? I don't even know. Ojulari was inactive, healthy scratch the first 4 weeks of the season. His numbers called last week, and he goes out there and has a hell of a football game. It's excellent, and I love it. And it's a huge step forward. Now, if he comes out and have another big game this week against his former team, maybe that lessens the need for Natch, because then we'll be by the bye, we'll get Nolan Smith back. And we get Nolan Smith back, Ojulari shows he can play. And then you have Jalen Hunt, you know, Za'Darius Smith and Josh Uche as your 3rd, 4th, 5th guy. It's a huge step for this defense. Well, thank you. I wish you were like, yeah. The NFL is so competitive. Those assistant coaches in the booth document every play and every formation, every yard gain. You can't trick these guys easily. And that's true, and that's fair. I get that. That's what they get paid to do. I've been very happy with Ringo so far. I can't wait to see how he develops after a year as a starter. Well, he's got to be given that opportunity to continue starting. I don't know if he will. Unfortunately, if it's a close game and the other team has the ball and Ringo is in, your risk profile goes up a ton. Right, but every team, like, you can't have an all-pro at every position. You just can't. The watch parties are a blast, and I'm not going to stop doing them, Elvin, and I'll be here tomorrow night for tomorrow's game. But it does make me miss a few finer points of the game. When I'm just locked in on my screen versus the show, I pay much more closer attention to the games. We're missing Nolan bad. Absolutely. Like, Nolan wasn't putting up flashy numbers, but we are definitely missing Nolan Smith on the defense. 100% K1. He's without a doubt the best defensive edge guy we have on the team. We need blowouts. Can't let the refs play a factor. I need a blowout very bad in this game for sure. I don't think one player, even Nola, can fix the problems this team have. Well, I mean, the defense, while it has problems, I don't think the defense is the problem. The defense is getting gassed because of the offense, but I don't think the defense is a problem in any way, or the reason why there's any losses. There's too much to work around to try and protect Keely Ringo. I don't know, maybe. Yeah, I love Nolan, but even he was a little lackluster the first 3 games, so he isn't even going to fix our problems right now. Yeah, I mean, look, if the offense controls the clock a little bit more, if the offense, moves the football a little bit more, the defense isn't on the field for 70-plus plays, maybe the defense is better. I mean, I was looking at, there's definitely room for the defense to grow. Like I saw stats on Drew Makuba, we're always happy about Jihaad Campbell. And Drew Makuba, 3rd best safety out of 64 in the NFL in run defense, in run stopping as a safety. But in the passing game, 54 out of 64 safeties, qualifying safeties. So there's still room to improve. Jihaad Campbell, I mean, playing great football. But yeah, he's made mistakes. You're trusting two rookies on this defense right now. And Keely Ringo is almost like a borderline rookie because he's barely played. So realistically, you got 3. And Carter now not getting doubled doesn't make it any easier. Absolutely not. You don't have to when he's working with one arm. Jalen Carter's playing with one arm because of his shoulder. Defense held Denver to 3 points and 80 passing yards through 3 quarters. The pass defense was amazing. Then they just got tired out, and that is on the offense, 100%. The offense has to sustain long drives and keep pushing. If our offense can milk a lot of time and score points, that will help our defense. Absolutely agree. 100%. What about stats? What was your last comment? Oh, I got you. Just because I thought you said stats. Up there. Look, the defense needs the offense to be better. Without a doubt. Without a doubt. Jihaad Campbell making rookie mistakes, still playing great. Zach Vaughn hasn't been as perfect. Look, Quinion Mitchell gave up 6 or 7 catches to Denver. Now, as Vic Fangio said, they were well-contested plays, but whatever. Everybody on the Eagles' defense has struggled at times. But I'm not going to be overly concerned. I kind of feel they're gassed. They started running outside and attacking Keely Ringo more. Yeah, look, I get it. You're not a Keely Ringo guy. I understand it. But I don't think there's a better option available right now. Offensive line needs help. Edge needs help. Tight end needs help. You're going to be playing this week without Grant Calcaterra also. So now you're going down to just Dallas Goedert and Kylan Granson, and that's it at tight end. Sunday was a great example of why you can't expect your defense to hold their own every single time. Yeah, agreed. We gave up 21 points. That's it. And they still lost the football game. When you have an offense, the most expensive offense in football, you can't be giving up 21 points and losing a football game. You can't have 17 points of offense or 17 points as a team. You just can't. What's our record without the blocked field goal and the blocked punt? If we don't get the blocked field goal to win a game and we don't block the punt to start the game the week before, are the Eagles 2-3? Are the Eagles 2 plays away from being a 2-3 football team? And if that's the case, what's the conversation like today? Mac McWilliams may start seeing some time this year as the year progresses. And that's why it was so odd to me that he was a healthy scratch last week. Because he's been out there, special teams and a bench guy active for the first 4 weeks. That's actually the key. The reason why we lost was because Mac McWilliams was an inactive player. We're 4-0 when he's active and dressed for the game. We're 0-1 when Mac McWilliams is not dressing for the game. Have to go into tomorrow night with a killer mentality. Yeah, you got to go in there with the mentality that we are going to go out there and curb stomp the Giants. You got to go with the mentality we're winning this game 40-0. That's the mentality. How's he hurt? He hasn't been on an injury report all year long. What's he hurt with? I'll pull up yesterday's injury report right now. I had it yesterday on my screen. You quick peruse. Not on the injury report. So how's a guy hurt and not on the injury report? When is he back? Mac McWilliams isn't on any injury list. Hasn't been. I know he was banged up in training camp at one point. But he played in the preseason games, active the first 4 weeks of the season, and wasn't active this past week. He was a healthy scratch. I think that had to go. They had to do that because of the defensive end position. Because they needed to act. They had to address Azeez Ojulari. They had to address all these guys at the edge, and somebody has to be in an active scratch, and he just got it. Yeah, you're right. We don't have anyone because how we let Isaiah Rodgers walk for $1.5 million. Well, he signed for like $8 or $9 million, and he is playing great though, for sure. Oh, sorry, talking text never works on these things. Comments. The amount of times I see you guys use talk to text as your excuse for me having to translate comments, I love it. I love it. Look, in hindsight, letting Isaiah Rodgers walk was a bad idea. It was. Sure. It's just the way it is. How he missed a few times this offseason. How he missed in the draft, so to speak, in the sense of he had certain players he wanted, and they weren't available when he came up. Now, he had great players drafted in Campbell and Makuba, etc., but they weren't the players he was originally targeting. Well, maybe Campbell was, but I don't know about Makuba. It is what it is, plain and simple. But they continue to search for answers. And with as much that's wrong with the offense, the fact that we spent so much time talking about the defense makes me feel that the general consensus is that the offense should figure it out and that you're not worried about the offense figuring it out. Me, on the other hand, I am worried that the offense will not figure it out. I know everybody's comparing it to 23. I don't want to compare it to 23. It's a different team and such with different, levels of success. But it is hard to comprehend how similar. Oh, no, hold on, let me rephrase that. It is eerily similar each year after a Super Bowl victory. What happened the next year for the Eagles? Mac McWilliams has more quality traits. He just doesn't have the loud tool. I mean, maybe he's a starter at some point. It's just weird that he was a healthy scratch out of all the options last week. If Vic had pounded the table to keep Rodgers, how he would have signed him. Maybe. I saw that Chauncey Gardner-Johnson still was unsigned as of yesterday, and he had assigned to, was it Baltimore's? I think it was Baltimore's practice squad. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson was not picked up on a single team's active 53-man roster. We let Chauncey go. We let Rodgers go. We let Slay go. Landon, I said it before the season started. It was like a week or two before the season started. They said, he's cleared. He's going to play. I said, wouldn't it be smarter to let him sit the first 3 weeks and get 100%? And then I said, and I got told I was wrong for saying this by somebody, I don't know who, sometimes coaches have to protect the players from themselves. Landon says he's good. The doctors say he can't get any more hurt or whatever. But so they say, okay, you think you can play? We'll let you play. I said, no, you protect Landon from himself because Landon's a monster. He's a beast. He's going to tough it out. He's a warrior. Okay? He's a Trojan. Or not a Trojan, a Spartan. He's a Spartan. But you protect him from himself. You sit him for 3 weeks. If he didn't play the first 3 weeks and he's just starting to come back now, maybe the story will be different. I'm concerned about the D for the next few weeks. Denver was not an offensive powerhouse. Well, the Giants aren't really an offensive powerhouse. I'm not too concerned about Jackson Dart, especially without Malik Neighbors out there. I'd be more concerned about our offense the next couple of weeks against Denver's. With our pass protection, how it's been, our run blocking, how it's been, with that defensive line that the Giants put out there, That would be my concern. And we'll get into the X's and O's a little bit more tomorrow. Haven't really done much research for this game. Slay is going okay in Pittsburgh and was at the Eagles game last week. Yeah, Slay's not been bad for Pittsburgh. He's not been good. He's given up a bunch of big chunk plays. But yeah, they do know us very well, the Giants, and we know them very well. So it's a double-edged sword there. They know us, but we know them. I'm not overly. I think if I'm concerned about the Giants' offense, it's the fact that we've let so many quarterbacks break containment and scramble for big plays. And Jackson Dart is probably the most mobile of the quarterbacks we faced over the last 3 or 4 weeks. So if anything concerns me about the Giants game, it's Jackson Dart breaking one free for 20 or 30 yards downfield. I mean, there's enough tape on him to know what he is. He's a rookie quarterback. He's going to make mistakes with the football, and he's going to scramble. He's going to break the pocket quickly and scramble and use his athleticism. And it's something the Eagles struggle against right now, is against those kind of, street ball, on the fly kind of quarterbacks. The Baker Mayfields of the world, the Bo Nixes of the world. The Eagles have no problem against a straight drop back quarterback like Matthew Stafford. The improvisers are what gives us problems. That's what everyone says, that Dart has that dog in him. And I've heard a lot of people, even Fangio was very complimentary of Jackson Dart yesterday in his presser, and talking about his mobility as well, that he's a guy that you have to watch out for. I found that Jalen Hurts stat that I was looking for. Jalen Hurts has dropped back 21 times this year, facing a 4 or 3-man rush. He has a grand total of 5 of 13, sacked 8 times. Third worst success rate in the NFL against a 4 or less man rush, just so you know. In the NFL, I man at the entire team. It takes a unit to collectively suck. And right now, it's all on all of them. Offense, defense, coaches. It's not one individual. It's everyone. Just fix it already. Yeah, absolutely agree. I check 1,000% agree with you on this. There's no argument from me on this. It's a team game, right? 100%. So I don't disagree. No Dean or Smith hurts a lot versus those quarterbacks. Will Nakobe Dean play this week? Vic Fangio was asked about him and said he could be activated this week. I doubt they do. I think they wait one more week. But he did say, but he does not have a full-time role yet. He's going to have a very limited role, Nakobe Dean. Basically reminding us that it's Jihaad Campbell and Zach Bond. Now, he might be forced to use Nakobe Dean and then slide one of those other guys to the edge in certain situations. But Nakobe Dean is not going to be just given his opportunity back, it sounds like, from Vic Fangio. Scrambling quarterbacks seem to have been our kryptonite because we're not staying in our lanes. Nolan Smith is a huge mobile quarterback neutralizer. He is. If we can make Dart do too much and make him do the things he doesn't like to do, yeah, got to. I mean, that's exactly what we got to do. Make a really long night. It would also help if the offense moved the football, the Eagles. If the offense consistently moved the football, consistently put up points. Put Jackson Dart in a position where he has to force things. Put Jackson Dart down 17-3, 21-3. Make Jackson Dart feel the pressure of, I've got to lead a comeback. That's when he makes mistakes. Plus 5 playoff teams in 5 weeks. We were thrown in the gauntlet. Dude, if you would have told me before the season we'd be 4-1 right now, if I signed a contract, I would sign that contract. We haven't had an easy game yet. The defense must preach gap zix. I'm trying to say, I know what you're saying, and I know what the word means, gap existence. It's just hard to say it the way it's spelled there. It says Dean will most likely play week 7. But not this week, next week against Minnesota. That is what I expect too, Adam. But then if they don't activate him next week, I think he's got to go on season long. You get 3 weeks in his practice window, right? So they got 3 weeks to activate him or IR him for the year. I think they will try to activate him and then see what happens from there. I do. We'll see. But that's what I think they will do. Sorry, got a missed message here. Got to check it out. Gap stunt. That made it actually harder to say. But yeah, I know what you're saying. It's been an issue this year, for sure. But again, as Reality Check said, remember, we are pulling little tidbits here. We just played 5 playoff teams, probably 3 of which think that they're going to make, they in their cities and in their locker rooms think that they're Super Bowl caliber, and we're 4-1. How we got to it is frustrating, but we are still 4-1. And that still needs to be remembered. That still needs to be understood. That I'd much rather be 4-1 playing 5 very difficult teams, 4-1 playing C-plus football, going into the easy stretch of the schedule where we can work out the kinks. For as much negative as we feel, let's just remember the big picture. And that's what I'm trying to zone in on. That's what I'm trying to stay focused on. The big picture is the Eagles are 4-1 right now. Okay? And very well could be 7-1 or 6-2 by the time they go into the bye. And we'd all be very happy with that. Very, very happy. I had them losing the Denver game before the season started. 2-0 is not the death penalty. 10 teams have come back in the NLDS from down 2-0, and this streaky team can actually pull it off. Vic Fangio thinks they could pull it off. I mean, Nims, do you blame the fans for thinking they can't pull it off? I don't blame anyone that says, including me, for saying they're not coming back to Philadelphia. Maybe they win tonight, maybe not, but they're not winning tonight or their next game. I don't know if is the next game Friday or Thursday. I don't even know. I know the next game's a 6 o'clock game. I do know that. If they get there. But I know it's not impossible. But I can't hate on anybody for feeling that it is impossible. Give me your Nola blinders. I mean, I am a guy that has been a very, very big supporter of Aaron Nola. But even I have backed off of that this year at times. Understanding that Aaron Nola has had arguably, no, not arguably, has had his worst season of his career. It is what it is. He did pitch well in his last start of the season. We can lean on that a little bit, I guess. Who's going for the Dodgers tonight? Yamamoto, or however you say his name. Yamamoto. Type of guy that's going to give us fits, probably. It is not impossible, but it is statistically improbable. Absolutely. Need a quick lead out of the box. 100%. Well, have a great Wednesday. We'll be back tomorrow. And then obviously live all night tomorrow for the game as well. Deuces, Reality Check. We're about time to wrap this up in the next couple of minutes, too, here. You know, almost time to get to work. Final poll question. Is this week Kevin Patullo's last chance? Yes, yes, had a big lead. Like 60-40. Yes is at 47%. No is at 53%. This is not Kevin Patullo's last chance. Interesting. Today, well, now just somebody voted just now, and we got to 50-50. Someone else just voted yes. So now we're at 50-50, yes, no, on Kevin Patullo. Today's the hurdle. If we can hit today, we will then have seen Ohtani 3 times in like 3 weeks. They said we will not see Ohtani till game 5 again, though. So to face Ohtani again, you have to get to game 5. Hopefully history repeats itself again tomorrow when we start playing complete games on a weekly basis, just like last year when we played a division opponent. I hope so, Versetti. I hope so. I'm feeling good. We just got another vote. Late votes coming in here on the poll question. It means new people. So hit like, subscribe, share, people. 21. Now, no just retook the lead. So it's now 52-48 now. All these late votes here. Late joiners to the program here. As we search for answers. And as we spend a lot of time talking about booing. So I'm going to bring it full circle. I'm going to boo all the people that are coming in and voting late and hitting the like button late. do your job, coming to the show early, right? Actually, we got those 2 new votes. And we did get 2 new likes as well. But at least we got that. Anyway, we're allowed to boo whenever we want. Whenever we want. Boo now. I'm booing now. What are with these people voting late? Coming in late. I'm booing the rain. What rain? Is it raining still? My phone said it was supposed to stop raining by 8 a.m. It's going to be a miserable day. It's going to get really cool out, too, this week. My phone says it's still raining. It said originally 8 o'clock. We need our offense to start the game in the first half for now on instead of deferring to the second half. We need our offense to play 60 minutes, first half and second half, to wake up. And we need the offense of the Phillies to wake up. The offense of these 2 teams are failing this city. You have failed this city. That is what's going on right now with this team, the Eagles and the Phillies. And don't worry, the Sixers are right around the corner and disappointing us. Needs to find their what? What kind of pills? Yeah. Anyway, tomorrow we'll do a final preview. Eagles Giants. Tomorrow also may be the rest in peace to the Eagles or to the Phillies season. Adam says 11 runs tonight for the Phillies. Oh, that'd be great. I go to bed early, whatever. Tomorrow's title will be Eagles preview. Did the Phillies win? Because I won't be able to I won't be able to wait till after the game to set up the show. How about a boo party tonight now? I got to work till like 8 tonight. Sirianni needs to shave his head again. Absolutely. I shaved my head to try to help him, but I guess mine doesn't have. I need Nick Sirianni to shave his head. Maybe Rob Thompson should shave his head to get the Phillies across the finish line. Maybe that would help there. So tomorrow we'll preview the Giants. I'll get my prediction out of the way for the Eagles-Giants game tomorrow. And maybe we'll be wrapping the Phillies season up with a bow. Or maybe we'll have one more week to cheer on one more day to cheer on the Phillies. We'll find out. Patullo needs to shave. Literally, let's just everybody shave their head, right? Get A.J. Brown to shave his dreads. Why not? Everybody shave their head. Maybe. Saquon, A.J., and Jalen might do it to him. Lock him in the... what did we do? We locked Howie in the broom closet for a year. They might do that to him. It's very possible. All right, we're going to wrap this baby up here today. Thank you all very much for tuning in. Another fun-filled episode. We'll be back tomorrow. Final preview and prediction for the Eagles game. Recapping tonight's Phillies game. And who knows what else. Guys, if you haven't liked, subscribe, share. Final votes, no, 52%. Yes, 48%. Guys, everybody have a great Wednesday. Go Birds. Go Phillies. And bubbles up.